What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Top Flight Pod. You know what it is. You know what we're here to do. Back on screen today. Beautiful but chilly Austin, Texas. I'm your host, Hernan. You can call me H. I'm joined by my G's. We got Primo and we got Neftali Ochoa in here tonight to talk everything going on with Austin FC and some European footy conversation there at the end. Real Madrid beating Barcelona. Maybe a little bit of AC Milan. Check out the jersey there. Ooh, look at the colors. Where's it at? Right there. You see it. And Liga MX officially kicks off. But I'll start off with you, Neff. How are you doing tonight, bro?
Doing wonderful. Very excited about yesterday's game. Glad to see Real Madrid champions once again, and in this cold weather, couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, you were telling me that you are a fan of this weather. I know some people that are not a fan of this. I can't say that I love the extreme cold. It's what, like 25 degrees right now? Maybe lower than that, actually, at this time. But let's see. Well, ask Primo. Primo, how are you doing today in this cold? Do you like it?
Yeah, bro, it's pretty cold out here. I don't mind it. I do like the cold weather, but I don't know. Just today is crazy, man. It's gonna get worse tomorrow, so everyone make sure you stay warm because it's gonna get cold.
Bundle up 100%, bro. Now, in today's episode, we got a lot to talk about. There were some things that we had to take out. I wanted to talk about everything, but we came to a conclusion that hey, there's a lot on tonight's episode. We're going to be talking about the new rumors, the players that we've actually signed, some of the bids that we got rejected, and some green card news, everybody. And of course, the players reporting back to St. David's Performance Center had to make the schedule here tonight on the Top Flight Pod. But before we get started, I do want to send a shout out to everybody that went out to the pickup. Was last Friday. We had the pickup at the Southside Soccer Zone. It was a blast. We had the Valencia Smiles Field outside on the back. It wasn't that cold. I know we were kind of scared, like, hey, it's going to be really cold. It's going to be freezing, but it wasn't that bad. It was actually a lot of fun. We had, like, what was it, 4 teams of 5 in rotation. And Neff was probably the MVP. Football Critic also was doing some massive saves. Neff with 10 goals. Everybody, round of applause for my G Neff. Fantastic. But once again, shout out to everybody. There will be more pickups that are going to be happening, so keep an eye on some information that we do release, and so you can come join us, play versus us, and our Patreon Discord members. It'll be a lot of fun. So keep an eye out there. More pickups coming soon. Warehouse and TV pickups. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. But all right, gentlemen. We're going to start off tonight's episode talking about none other than our Capitan Sebastian Drusi, because he made news this weekend for Austin FC, because guess what? He obtains a green card. Austin FC announced that Sebastian Drusi has obtained a green card to become a permanent resident of the United States. Drusi, originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina, will no longer occupy an international slot on Austin FC's roster after carrying that designation during the 2021, 2022, and 2023 seasons. That was from the Austin FC website via Austin FC communication. So, why is this important? Why do we have this on the schedule? Why, right? Well, it's important because we now have another spot in the international roster slots, you could say, right? Drusi not occupying that anymore is huge news, because now we can go after other players from Europe, from South America. And even though they're international, we only get 8 of those spots. Drusi freeing one up is just good business for the Austin FC roster. So I want to start off with you, Neff. Your thoughts on this news when it hit the mainstream media? Everybody was in a good mood because, of course, this is great news. How did you take it?
I think it's overall just uh, one of the better news that could have popped up for the roster build. I think nobody's happier for it than Rodo, and I mean, congratulations to him. I know it's been in the works for a while, so congratulations to him. Congratulations to Rodo, and hopefully they can make the best out of it.
100%. Rolo, maybe this is something he's been working on for a while. It was something that was hush hush. Nobody really expected this. Nobody knew that this was coming. Drusi was on vacation. He probably was in Argentina getting all that paperwork done. Very similar to what happened with Valencia. Valencia had to go back to his home country, get all that paperwork finalized. Came back and he had a green card, no longer occupied an international spot. Primo, what was your take on this? How did you receive this news? Obviously, Neff and I were very happy that this happened.
Yeah, it's a good move for the Russi and the club. I think the club doing small things like this shows you that the direction they're trying to move into. So um, props to the club, but I think it also shows that Drusi might want to stay here longer, maybe in the league or just in Austin FC. Um, so we'll see if he renews again with us, but overall, good for Drusi.
Now, I want to say this because River fans have been just very consistent with their wanting of Drusi back at the club, and I know Argentina just got a new president and things are maybe starting to change down there. I don't really keep up with the politics down there, but I know that that happened. The situation in Argentina is very difficult. And Sebastian Drusi, just like what you hinted at, Primo, right now, why would you not want to stay in Austin, Texas for a longer period of time? I know River is his love. I know he has it tattooed on his foot. Maybe that's where he wants to retire. But him getting a green card is very good news long term for Austin FC fans and people that cover this team. Because Drusi is probably the most exciting player on this team, most talented guy, and it's just a joy to even talk about him wearing Austin FC colors. So in the future, River 100% could be a possibility, but him getting that green card says a lot about what the long term plans are here in Austin. But gentlemen, can we talk about Danny Pereira's new agent? Can we? We're good? All right. Danny Pereira
Yes.
signs with new agency Paredes Sport and Law. Last week, Paredes Sport and Law announced their new client, Mr. Danny Pereira. The Miami-based agency currently works with ex-Austin FC player Maxi Urruti, the coach who led Argentina to the World Cup championship or the World Cup final in Qatar, Lionel Scaloni, the former coach of Chile who made them champs of the Copa America, San Paoli, and one superstar Ener Valencia, and many, many, many more. You can check out the names on their website. But Neff, tell the people why this is important. Why does this matter that that Danny switch agencies?
It's honestly an amazing move on for his career moving forward. It'll make things easier for him uh, to transition to another team. It's one of the things that either makes or breaks a player's career. Honestly, you can look at many different cases in which players' families directly get involved with that, and it becomes a whole mess, right? So I think this is a great move by them. Um, Congratulations to Danny, and hopefully, with this, it means that his transition into a better team for his career comes sooner rather than later.
And that's what I wanted to get into right now. You know, with this guy being I guess a a bigger fish in this pond in this ocean. You know, this guy. You know, I just listed to you some of his clients, some of these big name clients, right? This guy's obviously he knows tips and tricks that maybe his previous agency didn't have. The previous agency he was with was what PFC, if I'm not mistaken. They were very new. They were coming up. They have some Austin FC2 players under their client list, right? But this new agency, this Paredes Sport and Law, Football Critic is extremely happy about this. He says that they're going to fight for Danny, and pretty much just like what you said, Neff, this is going to facilitate or maybe help out his move to the next part of his career that's going to come after Austin FC. So, Primo, what was your take on this? You know, Neff and I are maybe hyping it up. I don't know if you feel the same way, but Danny switching agency is a big move for him at this stage of his career with the year that is coming up for him.
Yeah, for sure. I think this next year is going to be probably Danny's biggest year in his career. You know, he has Copa America coming up, new agency. So he's taking his career pretty serious. I have no doubt that this agency is going to help him move into a bigger, better team, hopefully in Europe. So yeah, good news for Danny. That agency seems to represent some big people, some good names. So they have a good you know, some good people under them. So I think they'll do a good job with Danny. He's young. So if you guys saying that they're gonna fight for him, I have, like I said, no doubt that they're gonna find a good team for Danny in probably in the near future.
They're gonna fight for Danny Primo like I would fight for you, bro. Tooth and nail, tooth and nail, tooth and nail. You too, Neff. You too, Neff. Don't just laugh over there. Tooth and nail. You hear me? But all right, gentlemen, moving forward to something that dropped today. We're recording this episode on Monday, January 15th. But Mikel Dessler, close to joining Austin FC. Early Monday morning, Austin FC fans were pleasantly surprised to find out the club is rumored to be after a Danish right back from French League 1 side. But the source very confidently told We Austin TV that this was no rumor. This is what he says. Per Farzam Abul Hosseini, he says, quote, Mikel Dessler will soon take another big step in his career when he moves to Austin FC and MLS. At the latest this summer, Only details are missing before the Dane completes his switch to a long-term deal. The contract with Ligue 1 side FC Toulouse expires this summer. He came out with that information via Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So I want to start off with you, Neff. What was your reaction when this information hit the big screen? It's important to note that this guy's 28, Neff. He'll be 29 very soon. He's played a lot of minutes for FC Toulouse. He's not just a bench player. This guy's very active on the pitch. A right back. It reinforces the defense. What's your take?
I think it's honestly a very smart move by Rodo and and the club to try to bring a player of I guess his caliber. He's got good numbers. He's got good. I looked at his recent performances. He's done fairly well. And I think the only thing that I might be concerned about is whether he's gonna come this window or in the summer, because if he's coming in the summer, it's better for the club since he's coming in for free. Since he can already agree to a free contract. However, they might be able to get a cheap deal um, for this window. So, I mean, regardless, whenever he gets here, he will be the starter right back. So,
Very, very interesting, my Neff, saying that he'll be the starting right back. I want to get Primo's take on this. Quick transition. Neff says that he'll be the starting right back at Austin FC. I mean, do you share the same thought? A lot of folks on Instagram and Twitter, they were asking us, hey, where does this put Gallagher? Does this mean that we're going to push him up on the attack? He can be a wing player. So, Primo, what's your take on this guy? And the guy said, don't even call this a rumor. And he was getting upset when people were calling it a rumor. He was saying, this is not a rumor. Please stop calling it a rumor. It's not a rumor. And I know Kevin Morris, he said that real journalists out there, they get kind of, maybe they'll get mad at you if you call some other information a rumor. And some fans from the other side of the world, Primo, they were saying like, hey, this guy is pretty much the Fabrizio Romano of his region, so you should take his word very serious. And that's where we're at right now. So, Primo, what do you think about this potential signing, this move that is likely to happen? Thoughts?
I mean, I like it. He looks like a solid player, solid right back. I think he'll fit in good with the team. He's like over 6 feet, I think. Good size. So, and it's in the position we needed to fill anyways. I don't think we had like a solid right back right now. So, yeah, I think for sure this guy comes in starting, coming in from playing in France, playing in Toulouse. Toulouse is a pretty well-known team, pretty decent team in that league. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good pickup. Hopefully we get him in the summer. I don't mind if we have to wait a little bit longer just so we can get him for free. And if, if that does end up happening, it'll just prove that Rodo is, doing some good business. So
He's cooking.
He's
He's at least showing us that the turkey's in the oven. He's at least showing us that the banana pudding is almost ready. He's at least showing us that they went to go get drinks and they're going to be right back with 3 bags of ice and some Coronas and some Dr. Peppers. Typical Texas party, right? So we see some stuff happening finally. The guy is saying, hey, don't call this a rumor. So we'll see what happens. Now, we did have some bids rejected, but we'll get into that here in a bit. I just want to note this. He's featured in 19 matches for FC Toulouse in 2023 and 2024, racking up over 1,400 minutes and earning 1 assist. In 22-23, though, Dessler played 32 matches where he scored 1 goal and earned 2 assists and played over 2,500 minutes. Now, not only is he featuring in Ligue 1, he's also playing Europa. So just like Primo said, FC Toulouse is very known. And on the FC Toulouse note, we have a little bit of I don't know what to call it, because there was an interview on YouTube that we came across about Mikel, where he's walking along with Ruben. Looks like they're walking towards their training session, and he pretty much speaks very highly of Ruben, saying that Ruben helped him out whenever he got to the club, and if any new player arrives and they need help, that they could just go to him, Mikel, or they could go to Ruben because Ruben has all the answers. Now, when he said that, it sparked something in my brain, and it just took me back to when Ruben was here. I mean, Ruben was a leader, so I don't have no doubts that Ruben was helped guide this guy, or helped guide, what other players that went through the Toulouse system whenever Ruben was there. So before I get into a quote from Mikel, I want to ask you, Neff, what are your thoughts on this potential, maybe link between Ruben and Mikel, and possibly Ruben is helping us land this guy because Ruben would have all the answers, just like he said. And I'm sure Mikel, if he's considering a move to Austin FC, then he would have hit up his buddy Ruben and said, "Hey, what's it like down there?" So, do you think that there's a possible connection? You think that there's a link there, Neff?
Could very possibly be. I mean, it's not uncommon in the world of transfers for football players to talk amongst each other, especially when one's been to another club. So I wouldn't discard it. And I mean, Ruben still, he left a big gap that wasn't able to be filled. So
Hmm.
if Ruben were to also put in a word for him, I trust Ruben's judgment. So
That's a great
uh,
point. Ruben could have put in a good word for him. I like that. I like that. Now, just a couple more things on the Mikel Dessler topic. His contract does expire June 30th of 2024. So could Austin FC be waiting to get him on a free agent move? For sure, 100%. Now, just like how we were talking about with Drusy and the green card situation, well, this guy would most likely be an international player, right? But we have those spots, right? I think we have three left, if I'm not mistaken, potentially four if Danny gets that paperwork settled here soon, which it's going to happen. Football Critic is very confident with that information that he released to the public. Shout out to my G. So three slots open right now, potentially four if all that happens, if I'm not mistaken, because we get eight. And on the Austin FC website, there's 5 players that are listed as internationals. So this guy would occupy one of those slots 100%. Now, a quote here from Mikel. This is from one of the YouTube videos that I was watching when I found out that this guy was one of our targets. Mikel says this, everybody. Quote, I'm a dynamic player as well. I like when it goes back and forth, but I'm also a defensive player, so I like structure as well. So I think I'm a bit in between. I adapted quickly and it suits me well. When they asked him about Ligue 1, what he thinks about, the whole gameplay on it, right? So he says that he's a dynamic player and he likes the back and forth, but he likes structure. I know Josh Wolf might hear that. He's like, hey, that's music to my ears. Josh Wolf probably likes this kind of profile, right? So, Neff, what do you think on this quote? Do you think this guy's gonna fit well in the Josh Wolf system? We know he likes to play a certain way, and it's his way or the highway. Do you think this guy's gonna fit in well?
I think a player that's been in the top as long as he has, eh, playing as constant as he has, can pretty much adapt to any game, system of game.
Mhm.
Well, my biggest concern is will he get along with Wolf because I don't know that many players will be able to perform not being able to get along with him as there's been a track record of such thing happening.
That's a good point there, my J Neff. Now, I want to get Primo on this topic here. In that same video, they asked him about the Heat in Toulouse, right? And he said that he can play in the Heat, but that it's a struggle for him. He says that he likes a challenge or whatnot, right? So I want to ask you, Primo, do you think that the Heat is going to be a factor for this guy, or do you think that Agent Ruben already told him, bro, it gets hot out there? Because Mikael says that he's a Scandinavian player and playing in the Heat is hard. So do you think that that's going to have an effect on how he adapts to not only MLS travel, but just staying in Austin, living in Texas, and especially if he arrives in June, Primo, when his contract ends? I mean, we're at the tip of it, bro. You know it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he knows what he's getting into. Hopefully he reached out to Ruben and he told him, all about it because I think, Ruben did struggle a little bit with he
Oh
looked
yeah.
gassed after some games. So
Hmm.
so hopefully he told him straight up how it is and hopefully he's prepared. I don't know how you would prepare for that, living out there. I don't know if you gotta do some more training, get in the sauna, do something, but um, hopefully he's doing, what he has to do to prepare because it gets hot here, and especially during the summer, especially games like in
Correct.
Dallas, Houston,
Oh yeah.
all the home
Especially
games we'll
Houston.
have here. I think even California can be a little hot sometimes. So, I mean, he's gonna have to get used to it. So,
100%. I think you hit that spot on right there. I mean, traveling to Houston, traveling to Dallas. I mean, just staying in Texas. Those climates. I mean, it gets hot around that time. Now, I believe it was the North End Pod Boy. Shout out to my G Zach. They asked the person that released the information on Mikel. They said, "Hey, can this happen before June?" And the guy said that anything is possible, but that it's not likely. So it's most likely that this player, this Danish right back Mikel Dessler, will arrive in the summer, free agent, free fee. We're not gonna have to pay any of a transfer fee, anything like that. Just he'll occupy an international spot most likely. But hey, like we've been doing, we've been freeing him up, and we got him. shout out to Rodo for cooking not only Romagnol's exit, but probably helping out in Drusi's green card process there. But let's see. Neff, anything you have on this guy? I'll let you get final word on Mikael Dessler.
Only thing that comes to mind is that I think one thing other than the football aspect of it that we have to look forward about with this guy, if he gets along with Ruben and he learned from Ruben, one thing that this team has been lacking is that leadership style. So if this guy that leads from the quotes that you've said, if he acts the way that he talks, he could be a locker room leader fairly soon, and the team needs that. So it's something that you can look forward to.
Very interesting, and I know that fans, especially on our Discord, if you want to join the Discord, just join our Patreon. Sorry about that. But fans on Discord they were very excited about this guy joining Austin FC. I saw multiple people saying that he's going to not only solidify the back line, he's going to help out moving forward because we've seen with FC Toulouse, there's been back three with the wingbacks pushing up. That's a style that Austin FC has played. I don't know if they like to play that much, but it's something that's within our reach. And a lot of fans have been asking, hey, could we play a back three next season? I'm not sure about that. But last thing, Neff, you think that we could possibly see this guy in like a back three, but him on the wing?
Uh, Given his size, I haven't seen how fast he is, but given his size, he probably could perform better as third center back rather than on the wing in that type of system.
Perfect. All right. Now, gentlemen, moving forward to the Borja transfer rumor. Of course, a player that is being linked with Austin FC. This one, I guess we can call it more of a transfer rumor, respecting the information that came out from Farsab. Austin FC has submitted an offer of 3.5 million for Colombian striker Miguel Borja. That's what our post says on X and on Instagram. This is via Germán García Grova and Cesar Luis Merlo, two very known transfer rumor specialists, especially in South America. Now, here the tweet says this: reports from Argentina indicate Austin FC made a formal bid for Colombian international striker Miguel Borja from River Plate. Per Germán García Grova, Austin offered 3.5 million for 80% of his rights. However, River Plate declined the offer, considering it to be too small. Neff, I'm gonna start off with you, mate. Thoughts on this potential move? Do Austin FC fans like it? Should they like it? Should we stay away from this guy? What should our next move be?
Well, considering there's a lot of things to consider when it comes to this move, but I guess the main one would be: is he better than Sardes? Absolutely, he's better than Sardes. The next thing would be, why would that offer would get rejected? Well, because when you're only doing 80% for a player that's 28 years old that hasn't had two great seasons, you do not want to keep 20% of something you're not going to be able to cash in on. I mean, look at the team that sold us Rigoni. They were not gonna, they were not thinking of selling, of us being able to sell him back on later on. So that's one thing. But that being said, anything is better than what we have, and we only have Saturdays right now. So for that amount of money, maybe a little too high, but the team's desperate. They're gonna have to do what they have to do. Strikers are expensive.
100%. Now, I saw some more information out there, and I have some notes here that I'd like to add on. His release clause is 8 million. Sebas Rur, an account that I follow on Twitter, X, whatever you like to call it again, but somebody that's very well known in the Argentine community and the transfer community. He's not a fab, but this guy often releases information. Sebas Rur. He adds that Austin could go up to 6 million for Borja. 6 million. Primo, I want to ask you, mate. 6 million. Would you be comfortable with going up that value to get this guy? 6 mil.
I don't know about 6 mil, bro. That's kind of hefty. But I mean, we do need a striker. We do need someone up there, and like Neff said, strikers are pricey. So if you want to get someone, especially from River Plate, it might just cost you 6 mil. Hopefully we don't have to pay that much. I'm looking more like 4.5, maybe 5 at the most. But I mean, by the looks of it, he's a good player. He's a good striker. I think he'll do as good. Has some good hold up play, scores goals, does what a striker should be doing. and we can't start the season with just artists, man. We need someone. So hopefully, like I said, we don't spend that much money on him, but we have to. I mean, we might just have to.
We'll see what happens. On Neff, here I have also that some sources add that Borja has considered a move already to MLS before. What do you think? Do you think that maybe that facilitates this move? What percentage do you give this transfer rumor of likely happening?
I that it happened. I that it got rejected. I 100% believe it. Of it happening, I don't see Rodo splurging on a 20-year-old striker that doesn't have much sell-on value. That if if it's another Rigoni, you're not going to be able to get rid of. But that being said, if I'm going to give Rodo some free advice here, he can take it or not. If you want a good striker for that amount of money, or you probably even less, that's proven in MLS, and he's like the highest scorer in every single team that he's been to. Get Camilo Zambeso, go to Liga MX. There's plenty of good strikers there for less than that money. You'll get your money's worth.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens there. And Neff saying we can go look in other places for that price tag. Well, just real quick, some stats on Borja. In 40 games for River Plate in the 2022-2023 season across all competitions, which is 5 competitions: Trofeo de Campeones Superliga, Copa de la Liga, Libertadores, Liga Profesional, and Copa Argentina. He scored 13 goals, earned 2 assists in over just about right under 1,700 minutes, and he looks like he got 3 yellow cards. So, I mean, I was a little critical of this rumor whenever it did pop up, especially on the price tag. But if we land this guy, if we go out there and pay the money, he's gonna slot in well for Austin because we need goals. We're dying for a killer number 9. We've been saying that for years since this club was inaugurated. When it came into the league, we've been dying for the killer number 9. It hasn't been Danny Houston. It's not really Zardes. I mean, maybe you can say that he's unlucky, right? It hasn't been Musa. I know a lot of fans love Musa, but he's not our killer number 9, right? He'll never be. I'm sorry, but he'll never be that. We're still looking for that guy going into year 4. And Neff said this. He said quality strikers are pricey. I mean, if we have to pay $6 million for this guy, it just shows how desperate we are for that number 9 that's going to be slotting in what 15 plus goals. I think this guy in MLS would be hitting way over 15 goals. So I'd say 15 plus. 15 plus. Neff, I see that you made a face. If we land this guy, how many goals does he score with the full season with Austin FC?
A good okay with a full preseason. Maybe 10, 12.
10,
Given
12?
you got to remember that this guy's also not extremely tall, and this team just focuses so much on crosses. A striker in this system needs to be able to be amazing with his feet and fairly tall, because I don't see, at least unless Josh Wolf changes the system yet again and does something different. I do not see him scoring too many goals, especially if the game's still running through Ducey majority of the time. So yeah,
I
it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot more than just bringing a striker to be able to score in 15, 20 goals.
Fair, 100%. I know maybe Football Critic will most likely be disagreeing with that take. I think Football Critic holds this guy in a very high regard. He says that he's going to help us score goals. Obviously, that's his main job. But I mean, this is a league where Joseph was killing it. Rui Diaz was killing it. I know it's different systems. You hit it spot on, Neff. This is Josh Wolf's system. You're right. We do send a lot of crosses into the box, and Matt Doyle hinted on that. We're going to talk about that here in a bit. But I mean, this is a league where, like I said, Joseph was killing it. Maybe we have to change a couple things in how we play, sure. But if we get a quality striker like this, I mean, why not change your system a bit to help this guy get balls into the back of the net? Because guess what? Scoring goals wins you games. Josh Wolf,
Yeah, you would think Josh Wolf knows that by now. You would
100%.
think. You would think.
I get it. I get it. Well, all right. Now, Primo, anything else you want to add on this guy, Borja? Transfer rumor as of right now, just reports from Argentina are coming out. We might go up to 6 million according to Sebas Rohr. You're saying 4.5 would be fair, but Primo, what's the final word on this guy? Should Austin FC be really going after him?
I mean, I think they should maybe make one more bid, maybe one more, and then if not, just go look somewhere else. But definitely stick to the player profile. I think he's a really good striker. So hopefully we get him or just someone similar to him.
Now, real quick, let's check on social media what the fans said on Instagram on our post. We had Juan Carrestre. He said, "Let's go." Out of grounds, immediately tagged Kevincho TV, River fan. Huddy underscore 001 said, "Finally." Lizarro's, sorry, Lisa Razo 605 says, "Oh my God." And then the person that put the information out there, Germán Garcia Grova, commented on the post. He said, "Fire." So, well, he put the fire emoji on there. So, boom. And then let's see, we had people, kind of critical. They said, "Damn, dude, 30 years old. Come on now." So not everybody is on board as some people might think. And let's see, dude scores goals, but for sure 30. Oh, he says, "Dude scores goals for sure, but 30? That's from Denmark underscore 11. And now just one more. Let's see. We'll read. Let's see. We says Israel Gonzalez says, "There we go, boys. Now we're cooking." So fans definitely receiving this information in a good way, you can say. But all right, gentlemen. Now we're going to talk about somebody we actually signed. We did have an hour space on Guilherme Biru, but on the podcast, we haven't mentioned him yet. So we're going to talk about him here right now. So here, bear with us. We'll go through him just super quick. Super quick. Guilherme Biru signs for Austin FC. Austin FC has reached an agreement with Brazilian side Mirassol Football Club for the transfer of 23-year-old defender Guilherme Biru. Biru joins the Verde and Black on a 3-year guaranteed contract through the end of 2026 with an option for 2027. A native of Curitiba, Brazil, Biru spent the 2023 season with Mirassol, primarily playing as left back. He notched impressive stats, including 45 clearances, 42 interceptions, and 21 tackles won in 29 league appearances. His contributions helped Marisol concede the second fewest goals in Serie B. Very important there. And Biru also made 12 appearances in the Campeonato Paulista, Serie A1 and 2 in the Trofeo Independencia. Now, Football Critic and I went into detail on this guy on the Twitter space. I don't know if I can make it resurface. I got to go dig in and see if I can find it. But I'll start off with you, Neff. Your thoughts on the signing of Guilherme Biru?
He seems very promising. A very exciting player. More than anything, because he's fairly young. He's at a fairly good age for a defender. Seems to be fairly fast as well. So it's gonna be. It reminds me a little bit of how Kolmanich was brought in. About that same type of vibe of a player. So hopefully he's able to fulfill his potential here, and give Austin, some not only very needed depth, but some actual defensive quality that this team has been lacking so much of.
Yes, and we have been lacking those positions. And if you and I had a very heated discussion this morning in the chat, and I think everybody was like, "Well, these guys need to chill out." But I was saying, Neff, how these signings that some are rumored, some have been rejected, some have been official, like this one that we're talking about right now. But if everything goes our way, this team is going to have a different look in 2024. Very different. I believe that 100%. But Neff, you were very critical, so I want you to give your take. Guilherme Biru, the very close signing, Mikel Dessler, and the Borja that got rejected. If those three players come into Austin FC, I mean, I know that one is going to come in June, but why does this not change this club for 24?
Because one, it's not. We're talking about signings as if we've only really signed Obrian and Vito. Those are two signings, of which you had players let go of. So yes, they're signings, but they're just additions to the squad. You still don't have depth. They're not reinforcing you. They're completing your team. I'm not saying they're not players that could make the first 11 better, but you don't win or get anywhere with just only a solid starting 11. You need depth, and we don't have that. Austin does not have that at the moment.
Fair.
So
Fair.
the FO, that's where the FO has been very lacking. And I mean, maybe they fulfill those positions with Fcito players, and that's going to be key. And I think that would be a right thing to do. But at the moment, as of today, they haven't made any significant improvements into the squad as a whole.
All right, fair. All right, now before joining back to Biru, sorry, we kind of went off a little bit there. Before joining Mirasol, Biru played for Coritiba Football Club from 2020 to 2022. I'll get Primo's take now, earning 72 appearances across all competitions, including 23 in Serie A in 2021. He played in 33 of Coritiba's 38 Serie B matches, contributing with a goal and an assist as the team finished third and earned promotion. Biru will travel to Austin upon receipt of his P1 visa and international trade certificate (ITC). He will occupy senior international designations on the Austin FC roster. So he might be another addition to the roster slots that aren't on the website yet. I don't think he was on there yet. So this guy has one more because he's an international player. So MLS, bro, MLS roster spots and shit like that, insane. But Primo, your take on this guy signing for Austin FC? He's gonna folks saying that he's gonna help the defensive level of this club, but folks were very critical also of the Serie B side that we're getting him from. They were saying that it's not comparing to MLS. Why go after a second division player? But those folks are probably not aware of the level that Serie B has. So your take, Primo.
I think it's a great signing. There's just it's a position that we needed to fill. So, um, yeah, this kid is coming from Serie B in Brazil, but that Brazilian football is just something else. It's their second division. I think you can compare it to MLS. Might be even better, but
Might be even better.
um, if he is coming from a second division, he can see this as the next step up. MLS is top flight, so what do you expect from the kid? This is his next move up. So um, I'm glad that he chose Austin FC. It seems like he's excited to come here. He's excited to play for Austin. So
Mhm.
that's exactly what we need. Again, he's young, 23 years old, um, and he's in a position where he can really uh, put himself out there and show out. Just because we've struggled with that position before. So
True.
um, we do have him on what is it, a 3-year deal. So if he wants to establish himself, he can do it this first season coming in, and we have a lot to work on. So he can really help us out.
Yeah. Now I want to share this, Primo, with everybody listening. Now, I reached out to one of my contacts in Brazil. We're Austin TV contacts worldwide, bro. It's crazy how, I mean, we got scouts at the airport, all over the world, bro. Now, one of my contacts from Brazil, I reached out to them and I said, hey, do you have a take on this guy? We just signed him. I know that you know the Brazilian football world very much, and it's not tactical manager, somebody else. But this is what they told me. And now this is exclusive stuff. This is a DM. I'm not gonna release any names. So this is what they told me. So he says, I do watch Serie B a lot. He's good. They started benching him towards the end of the season for a player that was a CDM, but he's good. He will do well in MLS. He actually played with my brother at Coritiba. Mm. And then he says, and is from the city I was born. I've watched him since he was a kid. LOL. He's a good player. He also says, my brother is friends with him. Do you want me to ask him for an interview with you guys? I'm sure there's a good chance that he responds. Now, hey, he probably only speaks Portuguese, so Football Critic, maybe you do a one-on-one with him. But Austin FC does things very interesting down here with player interviews. So maybe one day we'll see. We'll see. That'd be very fun to get Biru on the Top Flight Pod. He does follow us on Instagram, so he's definitely a fan as of now of We're Austin TV. I know that somebody said, yeah, he's only following We're Austin TV until Bali talks mess about him, but I talked to Bali. I told him the way he needs to do things, and Bali said that he's gonna do things his way, so there's no getting to him. So I don't know what'll happen with the Bali. But Neff, anything you want to add on Guilherme Biru? Maybe your thoughts on the messages that were shared with us from Disconnect.
No, I think it's amazing that where Austin TV has the reach that it has, and I mean, like I said, this player looks good. I mean, this is the type of profile of player that we like to see.
For sure.
Young, exciting, prospering. Um, we want to see players of this profile come to Austin and
For sure.
and and play great football.
Now we are coming down to maybe just the close end of the Austin FC side of the pod. We still got European to talk about, but just a few words on Matt Doyle's comments, guys. Moving into this next topic, Matt Doyle's comments on Austin FC. This had a lot of fans talking. This is from the Extra Time pod, by the way. But let me read what I have here in my notes. It says MLS senior writer Matt Doyle shared his thoughts on Austin FC's roster depth, and he also offered his expectations for the club in 2024 during the recent episode of the Extra Time pod, like I mentioned. And Andrew Weeb hosts this podcast. So just wanted to throw that out there if you didn't know it yet. So this is the quote. He says, it's a lot to piece together. It is, I think, outside of Toronto, the biggest rebuilding job in the league. The difference is Toronto has an easy out with both of their DPs, Insigne and Bernardeschi, still have value in the international market. I'm not sure Austin has that. I'll break that down there for you. Pretty much saying that Drusi, Rigoni, and Ring, our DPs, are harder to get rid of instead of Toronto, where they have Insigne and Bernardeschi, who have international value still, according to Matt Doyle. But the quotes don't end there. He also says this. He said, quote, they had no ideas in the attack. The number one thing I want to see in 2024, forget points, forget trophies, even forget player development, is just show me you have ideas. That is, I think, a useful measuring stick for this team. He also had much to say on Rigoni, on Drusi as a leader and being able to conduct play, like taking the team on his back, and really the whole team in general. This guy did not pull any punches back, but it really got Austin FC fans riled up. Neff, your take on these quotes from Matt Doyle?
Look, I know a lot of people don't want to like listen to a lot of these MLS writers because, of course, they don't have time to watch all every single MLS team and have appropriate opinions on every single thing. But a lot of what he said is not wrong. This team, this club has need. It's a big rebuild project that it's not going to be done in probably a couple years, to be honest with you. Now, unless, and it doesn't even come down to the players, in my opinion. I think it comes down more to the FO and the coach that they chose to keep. So, if I'm an Austin FC fan reading this, why are you mad? Because this guy's telling you a lot of it being true, and a lot of the things that he said, fans said. A lot of people were saying throughout the whole season, Drews is not a good leader. That he's showing it on the field, this and that. Bring Ring back. Everybody knows the Rigoni situation. Come on, like he's got to go, but he's not. We can't because nobody would buy him, and it's the truth. A lot of these things are maybe hard to listen to, but they're the truth.
Now, Neff, you honestly hit the nail on the head and a lot of those things, but I do want to say this. Some fans were upset of the person that came from Matt Doyle. I know he's MLS senior writer, but in the past, there's been a lot of criticism thrown his way because folks have said that he doesn't really watch Austin FC the way that he talks about them. They're saying that he's been very harsh, unfair with Austin FC, and he doesn't really keep up with them for him to have that kind of opinion, those kind of takes on them. But you were right when you said a lot of the stuff that he said, fans were saying it all last year. So I think they're just upset as to who it's coming from. I wonder if fans would have a different take if it was coming from somebody else. Like it came from Healy and everybody loved it. It came from Healy and everybody loved it, but it comes from Matt Doyle and there's pushback. So in the comments on Instagram, I mean, I could read them, but it's just too much. We definitely gotta move on. But if you have time, go to Instagram, follow We're Austin TV, and look at the comments under the Matt Doyle quote post, and you'll see just what fans had to say. They were very vocal about this issue. But we do gotta move on now. All right, guys, we're gonna get into the team and coaches reporting to St. Davis Performance Center. We see some little bits, some stuff here and there. Primo, I want to get your take. Obviously, on the first thing that I saw, Hader Obrion rocking the number 11, Primo. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
Good for him. Good for him for picking up the number 11. I like the number 11. Some good players have worn it throughout history, and so hopefully he can do it justice, maybe more than what Ronnie did. But I think that also pretty much clears up like all the stuff that was going on with Santos and all that, and now that he has a number, I think he's staying for sure. So good for Hader getting that number 11.
For sure. Now, fans were saying that the 11 should be retired in honor of Rodney Redes. I was like, man, you guys got to stop playing around with that. So it's time to bring in some honor. The number 11 is very prestigious in the world of football. If you know, you know. One of my favorite number 11s personally, Gareth Bale. One of the greatest number 11s ever, honestly. But some other things that we saw in the content that was being put out by Austin FC. Some photos were coming out, some videos were coming out, right? Everybody finally reporting back to St. David's. We see Pinot, we see Valentino, we see Chicture, we see Alonso Ramirez, Sal Mazzaferro, and Damian Loss all with the first team joining them for the preseason. So I want to ask you, Neff, before we move on to the next topics, what was your thoughts on really everything, all the content being put out about the boys finally returning to the St. David's Performance Center?
It's good that they're getting back to work, but I'm not getting excited over these hype videos. We've been getting them through so many bad results that I really couldn't like until I watch a game and I see change, I see something to get excited about. This is just another Monday.
Okay, wow, Neff, very, 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 very Neff. I'm gonna say that, very Neff today. Primo, do you share the same thoughts as Neff? Do you not care at all? Because me personally, I mean, I know Bali says whatever he wants about me. I'm hyped about everything that's being put out. I'm happy to see the boys getting back to work. Where are you on that, Primo?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hyped, man. I mean, I'm ready for the season to start. You've seen these guys get back to training, just it's the beginning of it. So, I'm hyped to see these guys be together again and play as a team again. I'm happy to see like the new guys join the team and have them involved. And also, there's some of the FC two guys practicing with the first team also. So that's exciting to see. So
Sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm hyped for it.
Now I know in the past, I don't know who all watches or listens to the pod, but I know in the past we've had players tune in, we have coaches tune in, we have fans tune in, right? Everything. But you might ask yourself, hey, why choose to post the Matt Doyle comments? That'll just maybe hurt the team's mentor or whatnot. But no. How I saw it was, hey, this is a team that a couple seasons ago they laminated predictions and it fueled them for the season. I whoever saw this post, players follow us, coaches follow us, whatever. Whoever saw that post going into this topic, 2024, being hyped about it, I hope they use these words from these pundits as fuel. I hope they use these words from these pundits as fire. Fill your gut up with fight. Represent this club, these colors, this badge, these fans. There's 20,000 people behind you when you play at home. It's time these players, woke up from the slumber that they had in 2023. I know there was injuries. I know there was lots of problems, but it's time for this team to actually deliver something to this city. 2022 happened, but we gotta do something else. We can't keep living off that season. Now, Neff, before we get into the European conversation, anything you want to add on the boys returning to St. David's?
Just like you said, if they're gonna remember and laminate every negative comment, just remember that you also earned it. So do better about that.
Okay. Damn it, Neff. I can't get one out you, bro. But all right. Also, very important to note, Mr. John Gallagher won the beep test fitness test. So shout out to him, one of the finest players in physique coming into the team. Love it, Mr. John Gallagher. But alrighty, y'all. Moving in to some European conversation. We have my G Primo, the pilot, here with us. We're gonna be flying over the Atlantic, and we're gonna land in the Middle East because that's where the Spanish Super Cup is now. It's no longer in Spain because they figured out, hey, we can make a lot more money over there. And that's exactly what it is, Neff. You cannot change my mind. But Real Madrid win it in beautiful fashion, 4-1 against their biggest, nastiest rivals, Barcelona, in a Clásico that Madrid fans will never forget. It could have been more. It could have been 7. I'm hearing from some people, some pundits out there. But in the end, it was 4-1. Vinicius with a first half hat trick. And then none other than his buddy Rodrigo. He gets that fourth goal. But I'll start off with you, Neff. I know that you're very close to the Peña of Austin. If you want to plug them in, I have no issue with that. They're very close to us too. But what was your thoughts on this game? I know you must have celebrated it so much. I got to Hub Squad late, but please tell us, how did you receive this trophy? Another one to the cabinet.
Well, one more to the cabinet and up to the next one. I mean, Copa del Rey is Thursday, so that's really where we're at. I mean, obviously we celebrated yesterday, and today we're on to the next cup. But it was a beautiful game. I can't deny. Um, I was not as optimistic going into this one in terms of us giving the performance that we gave, and wow, you know, props to the guys, props to Carlo Ancelotti. really did his homework with this one. And like you said, it's gonna be a Clásico that Madrid fans are not ever gonna forget. Not
Now,
in a long time, at least.
before I go to my Primo, because he's also going to have a lot to say on this, I do want to note that not only did we smack Barcelona with 4 goals, and I say we, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Not only did Real Madrid smack Barcelona with 4 goals, man, Real Madrid smacked Atletico with what was it, 5, Neff? I mean, that's 9 goals to Madrid's biggest rivals, eternal rivals. That's just massive. I don't think. Well, I hope that that's not something that is overlooked, or at least something that's talked about. I haven't really seen much conversation on it, but 9 goals against Atleti and Barcelona combined, that's a feat to be very proud of. Now, Neff said that the team will not forget this Spanish Super Cup. One of the reasons, probably why, Jude Bellingham's first trophy with Real Madrid. That's going to be something very special for him. Were you being serious, Neff, when you said this was Joselu's first trophy?
Yes, it's his first senior team
Wow.
trophy.
He will never forget it then. Wow. That's
Never.
beautiful. That's beautiful. But okay, let's get Primo's take on this. Madridista himself. Primo, what was your thoughts on this match? You were at Hop celebrating with the boys. I got there a little bit late, but I was part of the celebrations there at the end. Your thoughts on this match?
I mean, it was a really good match. Really, a lot of goals and, Madrid just coming back with Vini and Camavinga. Some of those players that we missed for a while due to injury are starting to come back, starting to get into flow. So, I think the team is moving well. We put 5 against Atletico. We put 4 against Barca. That's 9 in 2 games against 2 really big teams. So. Um, our season's looking pretty good so far. So we got a chip already. It's time to move on from it. We got more league play coming up. So
Mate, at the beginning of the season, I said Real Madrid could treble, and people laughed at me, mate. Now people are starting to get on the train and say, "Oh, how many trophies is this team going to win? Who's going to stop Real Madrid? Can they beat Man City?" Mate, I said we were going to treble early on this year, and people laughed at me. This team is special, y'all. Just real quick, going through some match ratings. Let's see, we have Lunin, who was subbed in for Kepa. Kepa played against Atleti, but Lunin, rightfully so, I think, and he did fantastic in this match against Barca. Lewandowski did get one on him, but it was a laser of a shot. Lunin with the 7.4, Mendy with the 6.7, Nacho with the 7.0, Captain Nacho, by the way. Tony Rudiger with the 6.7, yellow card for him. Dani Carvajal, 7.7. He's probably in the form of his life right now at his age. Tony Cruz with the 7.8 match rating. Stadium was booing him again. He didn't care. He celebrated chip in their faces. Chouameni with a 7.7. Neff, you were calling him El General. Federico Valverde, Fede, one of my favorite players, 6.7 for him. Jude Bellingham playing that cam position. Fantastic ball that he slotted in for Vini, who takes care of it. He has a 7.9. Vini, 10. Perfect match rating for him, rightfully so. And his buddy Rodrigo, the 2 Brazilians that are like thing 1 and thing 2. Rodrigo gets an 8.3 match rating. He got a goal himself. But let's see, Neff, any last words on this Clásico that for sure we will not forget in a long time?
No, it one thing that I want to highlight is that, like you said, at the beginning of the season, the way the team was looking, before the first game, Thibaut Courtois was already out for the season. So that was already a big thing to be pessimistic about. And not shortly after that, Militao went out for the season. Was just the team's been plagued with injuries, and to be where it is now, it I want to be cautious of how optimistic I am towards more titles. I think we can definitely at least achieve La Liga. Uh, Anything else is really up in the air for me, but to see what Carlo has been doing is that's what a real coach is.
Hmm.
I'm missing week in week out a coach that knows what he's doing.
Dang, Neff's sending shots. I don't have to say any names for you to figure out who he's talking about there. But all right. Now, shout out to Real Madrid. They win another Super Cup in the Middle East and was in Saudi. And Ronaldo's home. Vini hit the C, which was just poetry. Poetry, poetry. But congratulations to those players. Very special team. I'm excited to see what they turn out to be at the end of the season. But switching leagues real quick to going to AC Milan, because shout out to my G Shannon Hudson. We've been talking about Milan a lot lately, and even Jordan, he's been bringing them up a lot. And one of the reasons why, just real quick on them, they're third in this Serie A right now, but they've been on a really good streak. They've looks like in the last 5 games, right? They've won 3, lost against Atalanta, and then they beat Roma just recently. They beat them 3-1. Giroud, fantastic little flicks. Theo Hernandez with a beautiful goal. And Pulisic, even though he didn't get a goal against Roma, I mean, he's been fantastic for them. I'm gonna try to. I got to see the highlights for the Roma match, but just off the research I was doing on AC Milan recently, I mean, they look like a team to watch, man. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I have their jersey. I've been a Milan fan since I was a kid when Kaká was there. But let's see. I want to get Primo's take on AC Milan, if anything. I mean, do you have any like thoughts on them, bro? Like I said, they just beat Roma. They lost to Atalanta, but I mean, they've been on a really good streak. They're in third place right now. Any thoughts on AC Milan, Primo?
I mean, I like AC Milan. I think AC Milan's just one of those like historic teams that you want them to do well. I know they've struggled throughout recent years.
You went on mute, Primo. Actually, you just went on mute. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Milan's doing their thing, getting to Champions League positions again, and starting to be a competing team. So they have some good players. Christian Pulisic doing his thing in Italy. Giroud being a good striker that he is, and what's that boy? Leao.
Leao.
So they have a good team. Theo Hernandez, ex Real Madrid player, doing his thing also. So I think they have a good goalie also, a good young goalie. So
yeah, the goalie kept a lot of Roma shots out. They have a good team, man. I was looking at match ratings and stuff for Milan, and I mean, not only do they have Giroud, they got Pulisic. They have some really good players on that side, bro. And one of the teams that I'll be very excited to watch here moving forward. I'm gonna try to catch more of their games. Just real quick, their front three is Leao, Giroud, and Pulisic. They also have ex-Chelsea Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and they have Theo, just like you mentioned. And their goalie's name, Primo, you gave him credit, is Mike Magnan. So if you want to check him out, shout out to Magnan. Thank you, Neff. I appreciate that. Magnan. But all right. Now switching continents, we're gonna go to Liga MX because Neff's team and my team played each other in match day one of Liga MX. Santos and Chivas, they finished with a 1-1 draw. Santos went up. Chivas had some goals called back. But in the final kick of the game, literally the final kick, Guti, he equalizes for Chivas with a header. So I want to start with you, Neff, on this, mate. I mean, what was your thoughts on Santos tying 1-1 with Chivas?
I have too many thoughts about this, but how Chivas didn't get this game is beyond me. I mean, how bad do they have to be, dude? Because Jesus, I mean, I'm not putting excuses for Santos or anything. They have a pretty brand new team with new players in the key areas, a coach that like in other places is not amazing. But come on, dude. I expected a lot more from Chivas, who is supposed to be one of the big teams. But, you know, good luck to you on the season, because if y'all
Appreciate
perform
it.
like that, be happy there's no relegation.
For sure. Now, just real quick, some notes. I was very impressed with Pavel Perez. He was the left winger. Now, Sama noted on that's supposed to be Kid Cowell's position here coming in soon. So, Kid Cowell, a guy that Chivas just signed, historic signing. He is from USA. His mom is of Mexican descent. So, that's the loophole Chivas is using. But JJ Macias is in that lineup. Alvarado, he did fairly well. Gutierrez, he got the goal with 8.0, but I was very critical of him. Yeah, he was very lazy in some instances, didn't get back, but Maiji Sama, he's like, hey, I don't need Gutierrez to run. I just need him to be handling the ball. Good point. Some folks were very critical of Nene Beltran, saying he had a poor game. But overall, just like you said, Neff, I mean, I don't know how Chivas didn't win this game. They had chance after chance after chance after chance. And Santos just needed one or two chances to get down the field. They just needed a couple.
And honestly, just because Preciado missed that penalty, which is extremely rare that he misses a penalty.
He did miss a penalty, correct.
If it wasn't for that, Santos would have taken the game. And, like I said, it's also the first game of the season. So it's 60 more games to go and see who gets the playoffs to the Liguilla. So we'll see. Good luck to you guys in the season. It's going to be a rough one. It's gonna be extremely rough for us too. It does seem though like that our offense is doing fairly well. So I mean, we'll see where it goes.
For sure. Now, just to end tonight's episode, we play the Regio teams next. Neff, you guys play Monterrey. You're gonna face Brandon Vasquez. I think he'll be in the squad by that time. He missed match day one. And Chivas is gonna play Tigres, a rematch of that final that Chivas bottled 2-0. We'll see how that goes. Tigres is one of the powerhouses. Primo, San Luis, where are they at? San Luis plays Pumas on Friday, January 19th. And Primo, didn't San Luis sign Jurgen Damm?
Yes, they did, and
They
they actually
did.
they renewed his contract. They gave him an extension.
Oh shoot, Jurgen Damm with San Luis.
Pretty serious stuff going on. We won our first game against Mazatlan.
Hey,
1-0.
hey, everybody beats Mazatlan, right?
I mean,
Except Austin.
Hey, chill out, bro. But right now, Liga MX America leader, Monterrey second place, Necaxa with 3 points. They're in third. Primo San Luis, they're in fourth place, making top four with 3 points. Pachuca, which is Football Critics Liga MX team, apparently because of Rondon. I'm gonna actually take him up on that. I'm gonna force him to become a Pachuca fan now, right? And then Pumas in sixth, they got 3 points as well. And Chivas in 10th, Santos in 9th. But just like Neff said, it's match day one. If you know Liga MX, you know that the first couple of matches really don't mean jack squat. But everybody, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Top Flight Pod. I was your host, Hernan, my G Neff. There's Neff. Sorry, my G Primo and my G Neff there. Anything else we can say on tonight's episode? We're good, boys?
I just want to invite everybody to if they want to join us at Hop Squad on Thursday to watch another Madrid derby. Even if you're not a Madrid fan, just if you like to watch good football and whatnot, talk about football with other people, we're more than welcome to join us. We're all about building a football community as well. So anybody that wants to join us, more than welcome to.
Beautiful turnout for the Super Cup final. It was like 80 people inside Hopscotch or something like that, but it was awesome. It was awesome. I wish I was there for the entire length of the game, but I only made it to the very end. But even then, I asked Neff, I was like, bro, how many people are in here? Like, this is the biggest turnout you guys have had. But it was awesome. But yes, follow Peña, Madrid, ATX, and if you're a Madrid fan, you won't regret it. But everybody, thank you for joining us for another episode. We'll be back with more. Join the Patreon if you'd like. You get access to the Discord. A lot of conversation going on there. A lot of rumors. Center back that we haven't talked about, but we'll see what happens there. But have a good night. Stay warm, and we'll see you soon.